Hey, good evening and welcome. Chris and I are going to talk tonight, Chris Turner and I, about a number of things. If you live in Abilene, you know we got a new neighbor, and it's called the Stargate Site 1 Data Center.
Yeah, the official name is the Crusoe Abilene Data Center Campus, but it's the Lancium Stargate thing that you've heard in the news.
Indeed. And we've begun to, Chris has done some research, and we're going to start our segment on that tonight. But first, we're going to get to a tragedy in the Bluegrass State where it appears that America First lost, and Israel, the Israeli lobby, and I guess the Trump poured money into this thing against Thomas Massie.
Well, Trump didn't, but Israel did. And
Right.
some of the Trump allies did.
Yes.
But, yeah, and it's bad, and we can go over that here in a minute.
Trump turned against Massie as well as Marjorie Taylor Greene, many others, Candace Owens.
Now he's attacking Lauren Boebert because she came out and endorsed Massie,
Yeah, Congressman Lauren Boebert.
who has voted with him 98% of the time.
Yeah, a great congresswoman from Colorado,
Yes.
I believe. Yeah, Trump has basically destroyed all of the greatest people in his support base, and every good Republican we know of. And it's getting a little bit old. But anyway, Massie's loss today was, Alex Jones called it a referendum on who really is running American elections, foreign interference or grassroots American
Yeah.
voting. So
That's 100% what it is, because America lost today, let's be clear. I know people, especially the boomer crowd, the old over 65s, are, yay, we got that. They're calling him a rhino, which is, he could be farther from the truth. I mean, he's literally, if you look at his Liberty scores and his constitutional scores and the Freedom Caucus type stuff,
yeah,
he's literally an A+ on all of them, and he was higher rated than MTG or almost anybody else. And in the Liberty scores specifically, he was the highest rated one.
yeah.
And his sins are, he wanted the Epstein files released. He worked with whoever would work with him, including a couple of Democrats. But you know who else wanted it? Donald Trump at first. And then all of us wanted it that voted for him. But, he's had friends that he didn't want it to hurt, so he didn't want to do it. That's what he says. But whatever.
For whatever reason,
whatever the reason, he went back on his campaign promise and then came after Massie for this. That was the number one reason, and there were some other votes. They put a lot of pork in some of these bills, and so it got painted as Massie voted against the big beautiful bill, or he voted against whatever that they're trying to throw in there. But if you actually look at the bill and read, which most people do not, some of the stuff in the bill was horrible, and he couldn't vote for those things because he is a principled constitutionalist and a conservative, and that's what the people that sent him there to do. That's what he was doing.
For those of you who don't know, Thomas Massie is what we would call a very America First congressman from Kentucky.
Real America First, not this, the made-up version that some people call himself America First.
Right. The MAGA thing, we were America First, or MAGA before MAGA even existed.
I was definitely America First in the Ron Paul revolution.
Absolutely. And I would say Thomas Massie represents a Ron Paul type of Republican easily. He votes against war, against foreign aid, and for releasing the Epstein files, and all of that earned him a worst congressman ever badge from Donald Trump.
Yeah, because he voted against him on a couple things and pushed the Epstein. But we can't overstate what just happened in our country. Whether you like Massie or you don't, the fact is a U.S. House seat was just purchased by Israel. There's no other way to say it than $33 million was spent on that race. That's the most expensive House race in the history of our nation. And of that, $5 million was spent by the Massie campaign, $2 million by Ed Gilleon or whatever his name is.
Galrain.
Yeah, whatever. And then over $15 million was spent by AIPAC and the Israel lobby directly. And then some of the, the meta, what's her name? Oh, I can't think of her name. She gave $200 million to Trump too, but her husband died.
Miriam Adelson.
Yes, and so she was a big donor in that too.
Yep.
But the bottom line is, when you put that much money into local race, and they were running ads all over the state in Kentucky, they are trying to take him out and then make sure he wasn't able to run in the future for governor or president or what. I think they overplayed their hand. I think that'll show itself later. But, for today, this is a loss for America and a bad deal for America First. But
Massie's defeat is a loss for America, but as I was telling you earlier, I say we should call it our modern political Alamo moment.
yeah,
Because we were defeated at the Alamo, but the passion that inspired allowed us to come back and whip the Mexican government's butt and make Texas its own country.
yeah, and I'll tell you why we believe that's going to happen. Because if you looked at the breaking downs of the votes, the youth vote, what is it? 18 to 29, 81.5% went for Massie. 30 to 44, 70% of the vote went to Massie. Then they broke even at 45 to 50 to 64 as a wash. And then 65 and older, the boomer crowd, 61% went for Ed Gallrain. So that's how he ended up winning, because the boomer, the Fox News, the CNN crowd, they believe the propaganda on TV, and they say, oh well, he's a rhino and he's whatever. But this crowd, like it or not, they're dying. There's no other way to say that.
It's a dying demographic.
Yes, and the youth. That's the thing. The youth is very patriotic, and they're coming up, and they don't like any foreign countries being involved in our stuff, but they really don't care for Israel. And so I'm telling you, this America First thing is on the rise big time, and the youth in the next election cycle or two, we're going to see more and more momentum from the America First people, I believe. I'm glad to be on that side of the thing. I've always been on that side, but that's where I'm at, and I voted for Trump 6 times, and I'm saying right now, the current MAGA with the Mark Levins and after discussing
Lindsey Graham,
all of them can kiss my butt, and I don't stand for that, and I never will.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
So anyway, that's important to know the numbers and to know how much they spent on this tragedy to do what they did.
That Israel can buy elections in the United States.
But yeah, Israel bought this one.
It don't matter if you're a rural district like District 4 is in Kentucky. They invested $33 million to beat American First Thomas Massie.
Yeah.
This is an outrage.
And that came with the Trump endorsement on top of it, for the other guy.
And that shows that Trump has betrayed us in a massive way.
Well, and that he's going to let his ego go after anybody that just like now he's claiming, we might get somebody to primary Lauren Boebert. And all she did was say, hey, Massie's my friend. He's a real conservative, and I stand with him and I endorse him. That's all she did.
Right.
She stood with Trump, 98% of the time, and here you go. He's come after her next, and he did the same thing. He ran MTG out of there. This is not what we want. I mean, it's a disgusting feeling to watch all these actual America First patriots and fighters who actually care about this country getting ran off by this current administration.
Yeah,
indeed. And the people that are replacing them, the Ted Cruzes, the Mark Levins, the Lindsey Grahams. He endorsed Lindsey Graham again. I mean, that's disgusting.
Yeah.
He's one of the worst politicians. Now, I will say today, he came out and said, okay, I'm endorsing Ken Paxton over John Cornyn. Hooray, he got one right.
Right.
But
yeah,
the rest of these have been horrible.
Because I think we both agreed Trump knew he could not get away with endorsing Cornyn in Texas.
No. He's too unpopular in Texas.
Yeah.
And that wouldn't fly, especially waiting this late in the game to do it. Early voting's already started this week and for a runoff. He never endorsed anybody in there in the actual one.
I guess it finally came time that he'd have to endorse somebody.
Well, he didn't have to do anything. He could have kept his mouth shut, which I would have been for that too. But the worst thing he could have done was
endorse Cornyn.
Yeah, and then he would have had real problems. And I still don't know if Cornyn would have won, because Texas is very done with Cornyn. But
well, we ought to be. How long has he been in that seat?
24 years.
Ridiculous.
Yeah.
He ought to be tired of being in that freaking seat.
He don't care. Yeah, he's Again, back to this Ed guy.
Ed Gallrain
Yeah.
in Kentucky.
I just want to be clear. The guy that all these people they were calling Massie the Rhino and said he's going to support. Let's talk a little bit about him. This is the same guy in 2016 when Trump got elected. He said, you know what? I've been a Republican all my life. I'm done. I'm going to go be an independent. I'm leaving the party because Trump's the Republican nominee and I will not stand for a party with Donald Trump in there. So now we're supposed to believe this guy is Mr. Republican, Mr. MAGA, and he literally quit and didn't come back to the Republican Party until 2021 when Joe Biden was in there. Again, so he done it. Mark Levin has been a never Trumper. Lindsey Graham's been a never Trumper. Ted Cruz has been a never Trumper.
Yeah.
Marco Rubio's a never Trumper. J.D. Vance was a never Trumper.
Right.
I could go on and on and on. And so he's running out people who have been loyal. And maybe Massie wasn't always like he was loyal to the America First movement, but MTG,
That's what matters.
Lauren Boebert, all of them have been loyal to Trump, and he's still backstabbing.
Still stabbing right in the back. And I want to give a